Prior Lake, Savage area schools and police are investigating a racist video made by students that is now circulating on social media.
Fox 9's Babs Santos is in Prior Lake tonight with the very latest. Babs, you talked with a girl who says she was the specific target of this video.
Yes, she says she's really appreciative of support she's gotten from her classmates throughout all of this, but she's hoping the school will take action against those involved so she can continue to feel safe coming here.
West Savage, Prior Lake High School, Savage, Minnesota, 2,716 students, ages 9th through 12th. Okay, decent sized school. Wow. A 6 out of 10. I mean, you guys know. You guys have been around for a while. And make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share these videos. And make sure you subscribe if you're new. Hit the super chat too. So this school is pretty good, man. Pretty good school. I'm talking about, yeah. You don't see this, okay? Especially with this incident, surrounding a Sun team. Test scores are 8 out of 10. Student progress is only 3 out of 10, but that could be explained by the fact that there's probably not a lot of room for the students to progress. College readiness is 10 out of 10. Okay? All right? So 96% of their students graduate. Okay? They have an average ACT score of 23, which is not bad. Wow. Equity, they have a 3 out of 10 when it comes to equity. So they have 29% of their students are low income and underserved. The low income and underserved, and you know what that means. Low income and underserved, you know who that is. Students, they got a 30% on their test scores, and all other students have 81% on their test scores. So this school has earned the College Success Award, Gold, for its track record of helping students enroll and succeed in college. So their kids aren't just getting into colleges, but they're succeeding when they get there. Okay? And Minnesota has their averages, because the little arrows where the state averages and the bars where this school is performing. So, but Minnesota has very high averages. I wonder why. Across the board, Minnesota has very high averages. This school exceeds all of those averages, except for pursuing 2-year colleges, because most of their kids pursue 4-year colleges. Okay, so they have kids in AP classes up to the state level, the state average. Wow, their kids are doing excellent in science. Doing right at the average in reading. But they're doing very, very good in math. Wow. Okay, so let's see the demographics at this school. Okay, so the Glacier Glider students, who make up 83% of the school, are doing their rating is 3 out of 10, which is not really great. But the Crouching Tiger students are doing 5 out of 10. The Ombrito students, 5 out of 10, and the Sun students are 1 out of 10. But yeah, so this is a PWI, a predominantly glider institution. But those Crouching Tiger students, if you got a few of them in your school, they'll bump up all your scores because they do so well in math. They do so well on tests. Like, they're super test takers.
Well, Prior Lake, Savage area schools and police are investigating a racist video made by students that is now circulating on social media.
Fox 9's Babs Santos is in Prior Lake tonight with the very latest. Babs, you talked with a girl who says she was the specific target of this video.
Yes, she says she's really appreciative of support she's gotten from her classmates throughout all of this, but she's hoping the school will take action against those involved so she can continue to feel safe coming here.
I'm at a loss of words for what they've done.
A community in the South Metro is on edge this week because of a viral video showing a student at Prior Lake High School using the N-word to harass a black student.
Nobody was going to forget what this girl said about my sister.
The conflict started after Elizabeth and Naya Sijan say a girl at the school recorded a disturbing video attacking a pillow with the N-word written on it.
She beat up the pillow while calling the pillow racial slurs, pretending as if the pillow was a black person.
After
Two things. These girls should never, ever, under no circumstances, go to a school that's 20 or 30% Sun people. They will not survive. They won't make it. They're not tough enough. They can't make it. They wouldn't be able to make it. Second of all, this situation here, making the news in America, because this is outside of Minneapolis, with all the crime and murder going on in Minneapolis, and the majority of the glacier gliders who get killed up there, almost 90% of them are killed by Sun people of some diaspora. The fact that this can make the news, a glacier glider girl punching a pillow with the N-word, punching a pillow, a glacier glider girl punching a pillow with the Sun word on it. I mean, I was expecting a little more. I'm not even gonna lie. I hadn't seen this video. I just read the title. And I wasn't expecting nothing physical, because that never happens. And of course I was expecting it to be a hoax. But this one may actually be real if they actually have a video of the girl doing it. So this one may actually be the first one I've done where either college campus or high school where it hasn't turned out to be a hoax, or the culprit of the graffiti hasn't turned out to be a Sun man or Sun woman. So at least we have that.
Nobody was going to forget what this girl said about my sister.
the conflict started after Elizabeth and Naya Sijan say a girl at the school recorded a disturbing video attacking a pillow with the N-word written on it.
She beat up the pillow while calling the pillow racial slurs, pretending as if the pillow was a black person.
After the girls drew attention to that video, they say more videos were made, this time directed at them.
And to think that they could even say such things about another human being, it's beyond me.
Now, these are two pretty young ladies, man. Two nice-looking, darker sisters. The abuse they would take at a East Side High, at a Booker T. Washington High. You know, the abuse they would take. They be running back to this school, Jack.
The videos, which we are not showing you because they contain racist and offensive language, encourage Naya to commit suicide by offering graphic examples.
It makes it 10 times harder to succeed in such a terrible environment where you feel like you are not loved by your community.
In a letter to parents this afternoon, the school says today its counselors continue to create extra space for students to talk about the horrific racist video. But for the sisters, that's not enough.
They feel safe and comfortable to continue to do these things is because they do not get punished at school and they do not get punished at home.
The Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community admits the video involves a minor from its community, condemning the comments that were made.
So the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community had to release a statement because one of their kids made a video about these Sun teens. How many of you got hit one if you remember the story I did a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago in Washington State, where the Sun man just wiped out a whole family of natives for no reason at all and was laughing in court when he was, during his status here, just smiling and all jovial. There was no statement from the Sun community apologizing, offering condolences, condemning his actions. And he literally killed a preacher's kid, a couple. He killed all this woman's kids, adult kids, for no reason. Just randomly killed them all, shot them all. There was no statement. And you got a ton of activists in Washington State. No statement. Nothing condemning his actions, nothing apologizing, nothing. But these Sioux people in Minnesota had to issue a statement because one of the many videos that were made against these girls was from one of their kids. And y'all don't call that privilege. Some people don't never have to apologize for nothing unless they say something about the LGBT community. Other than that, they don't have to apologize about nothing.
Punished at home.
The Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community admits the video involves a minor from its community, condemning the comments that were made.
I really can't imagine what the next 4 years are going to look like. And it scares me. It really does. It scares me to have to go through this. No one should ever have to go through this, especially regarding the color of their skin.
And while this investigation continues, it's worth pointing out here in Minnesota, it is illegal to encourage someone to commit suicide. Live and Savage, Bab Santos, Fox 9.
Protesters want the students held accountable, but that's just the beginning. They're also calling on the district to add anti-racist curriculum. They also want an all-student assembly featuring people of color. Here's the picture. One student dressed as a police officer resting his knee on the neck of another in an orange jumpsuit.
Okay, so you got this picture right here. Boy, Sun people are easy to trigger. And listen, I get it, man. These kids did not make it like this. They're born into this world. They are socialized to think that glacier gliders react perfectly to every situation. Glacier gliders never make mistakes. They always handle everything perfectly. And when a glacier glider does do something that's offensive, they're completely shocked because they never have to deal with it. Okay? So you go to a school in the Sun community, a Booker T, a Martin Luther King High School, and you're getting in fights every other day. You're called the Sun word 100 times a day. You're picked on because of your complexion, whether you're really light or really dark. Either way, you're going to get picked on, but more so, we all know if you're darker. kids are shooting each other. And it's very common outside of the school. Inside of the school, not as it happens, but most of it's outside of the school. A lot of gang members, a lot of kids missing time in school because they're in juvenile hall. Teachers getting assaulted. In Baltimore, 4 teachers are assaulted every day in the public school system. And this is with them discouraging them to report it, to keep the numbers low. So you go to a predominantly Sun school, Cedar Crest High. And you don't expect to deal with anything. You think it's going to be a walk in the park. Off to the great schools at. Cedar Crest High School, 970 students, ages 9 through 12. Great schools rating, 8 out of 10. Wow, this is a great school. If you're ever in the Washington area, you should send your kids to this school. Test scores, 10 out of 10. I've never seen that. Because I guess most of the schools we go to, because of the nature of this channel, are usually in the Sun community. 10 out of 10 college readiness. So we don't have to look at any of these things. Let's just go straight to the demographics. Okay. So, 80% glider, 11% umbrito, 4% multiple races, 3% crouching tiger, and 1% Sun people. Wow. 1%. And they expect it to be nothing to ever go wrong because, for the most part, when you're around gliders, nothing ever does go wrong. If you're a Sun person, you don't have any problems. So when you do, it's so shocking that you got to run to the news station.
Here's the picture. One student dressed as a police officer resting his knee on the neck of another in an orange jumpsuit.
As someone who went to the school, as someone who's lived here for a while, my heart just broke to see something so ugly.
This depiction, presumably of the murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, quickly spread among students of Cedar Crest High School in Duval. And Tuesday, they participated in a walkout to say it's not okay.
It's not enough for this to be a one-off and for it to be swept under the rug or dealt with. It needs to be a catalyst for a larger conversation and change.
So I think
So hold on, wait a second. 2 kids, high schoolers, made an insensitive, silly post about a interaction between a police officer and a criminal suspect. And all the kids walked out of class to protest it. And you're seeing that a lot lately, these walkouts. These kids, they're just using this as a way to get out of class. But what I get from this is that, okay, not all these kids are walking out there showing that they're not down with that. Isn't that a good thing? Doesn't that speak to the sentiments and the beliefs of the kids at the school more than the 2 kids that did the post? Or does what the 2 kids who did the post speak louder than the entire school walking out in protest of what they did? I think we know which one is going to speak louder.
I think it's really just sent a huge rift in the community, and it's really brought racism to light and what it looks like within the community. And it's really up to the school to take some action.
In a written statement, the Riverview School District calling the photo insensitive, extremely inappropriate, and disappointing. And while they go on to say they'll continue to provide a venue for students to discuss their thoughts and emotions, they point out that this photo was snapped off campus and outside school hours.
Right. What the heck could the school do about this? The school, they had nothing to do about this. 2 students made a post, and now somehow this is what racism looks like in America?
That response prompted this walkout.
I just don't think they have the language or the cultural awareness to understand what these types of images can do to communities of color, to people of color.
Students and community members, nearly 1,200, signing this petition, calling on the district to hold the students in question accountable.
They're still making it known that they're not gonna let things like this stand, and they're willing to fight for our communities.
Dr. Anthony Smith is the district superintendent. He says he's working with parents and students and plans to bring in a national advisor on diversity, equity, and inclusion. He wouldn't comment on the specific picture, citing an ongoing district investigation. In Duval, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
We looked at the racial breakdown in the Riverview School District, and roughly 3 out of the 4 students are white and less than 1% are black. That's according.
Hence the high test scores and lack of violence. There's absolutely no violence in this Riverview School District. Nothing. I looked. Nothing. You can't find it. Nothing ever happened. This is the worst thing that's ever happened there.
We looked at the racial breakdown in the Riverview School District, and roughly 3 out of the 4 students are white and less than 1% are black. That's according to the State Office of Public Instruction. Child and family therapist Tony Williams told us that lack of diversity can lead to a lack of empathy.
I think the lack of exposure that white students have to other cultural background of students or
protects them from being victims of violence and helps them have learning environments without kids talking in class, disrupting class, hanging in the hallways, bringing the hip-hop culture of degeneracy and debauchery into the community. Is that what you were about to say, sister?
I think the lack of exposure that white students have to other cultural background of students or just persons of color specifically is a trickle-down effect in actions such as this. At the end of the day, you get high school students who are teenagers getting ready to be 18 and graduate and go out into society who still have these ideals that this kind of behavior is okay when in all actuality you are contributing to the problem and the perpetuation of racism in that system.
And Williams says it's up to parents to be proactive and have upfront conversations with their children about race.